Hello, and welcome to today's live session where we're going to dive into mastering your energy. More specifically, I want to talk about this. Are you a sprinter or are you a marathoner? Understanding and harnessing your energy patterns is crucial, especially because we live in such a fast paced environment, right? And how sometimes it can really feel almost impossible to keep up with our daily demands, which are constant and varied. Hi, I'm Leslie Gaudet. I'm a self care strategist dedicated to empowering female entrepreneurs to use their time more efficiently so they can break the burnout cycle and enhance their quality of life, both personally and professionally. Before we begin today, I want to start by telling you a story, my story around energy. I recently had a profound realization about energy management. My youngest brother passed away last September, and for the past few months, I was doing all of the things, being there for everyone else's needs. I was trying to be emotionally available, present for my family, for my mother, for my other brothers. I had two brothers, one older, one younger, both had passed, and my husband, while also trying to keep myself together. And I found myself burning out because I couldn't, and I just didn't know what was going on. I couldn't pinpoint the cause of my burnout. I thought it was because of my businesses, one where I support a team of lawyers and paralegals in my independent consultant side, and one where I'm a self care strategist supporting my clients, and all that comes with all of that responsibility, all the demands of work. But I had an epiphany recently. It became clear to me that what was happening and why I was feeling so drained and burning out was that I was giving away all of my energy into supporting everyone else emotionally, leading to an emotional and energy burnout for myself. This epiphany helped me understand that my burnout wasn't just from work. In fact, it really wasn't from work, it was from the emotional energy I was expending. My mom, for instance, often expresses negativity, which I was absorbing, and I realized I needed to set some emotional and energy boundaries, letting her express herself without it impacting me deeply. And I know that can be really super hard at times, especially if you're that person who has, people in your life who depend on you emotionally. Um, and so I really needed to make sure that I started putting myself first. This experience reinforced the importance to me of recognizing and managing my own energy patterns. I learned, number one, that I'm a sprinter. And this is to do with business. So I learned I'm a sprinter. I can do things intensely in shorter bursts of time, but I need frequent breaks to recharge. This realization has been vital. Um, to say the least, that it has been a transformational moment for me to realize that and that it made me feel so much better to know that about myself is like really it was gold when I figured that out. It's the reason why I decided to come live to you today to share around this topic, which I think is really important, is for self-awareness around this. um, because I know I've spoken with other people just about this, even this morning, having a conversation with someone that their energy levels, they realize that they can only operate on a certain level and then they have to take longer breaks. And I realize that about myself. So, again, my goal today is not just to share strategies, but it's really just to inspire a shift in perspective. We're here together to explore how understanding whether you're a sprinter like myself or a marathoner, and that which can profoundly impact how you manage your tasks, how you make decisions, how you maintain your enthusiasm, how you calendar things to do. It's about tailoring your schedule to fit your energy levels, ensuring that you thrive both personally and professionally. So, with that understanding, let's dive deeper into how we can harness our energy patterns to enhance our productivity and well being. So, whether you're a sprinter or a marathoner, there's going to be a strategy for you. So, let's get started. So, first things first, to kick things off, let's define what it means to be a sprinter versus a marathoner in terms of energy management. So, sprinters, like as I said, I'm a sprinter. Sprinters are individuals who can work intensely in short bursts. They need frequent breaks to recharge their energy. Marathoners, on the other hand, can sustain their focus for longer periods of time before needing a break. And so, understanding whether you're a sprinter or a marathoner can really significantly optimize your productivity and your well-being. So when you learn to start recognizing your energy patterns, that's going to help you align your tasks with your natural energy flow. For instance, if you're a sprinter, like I said, like myself, scheduling short, intense work sessions followed by longer breaks can help maintain high productivity. Marathoners might benefit from longer work periods with fewer but strategically placed breaks. They still need breaks, and they may only need a break for a shorter amount of time, like 15-minute breaks, rather than someone like myself who's a sprinter who might need longer amount of time, like 30-minute breaks. I found that by incorporating a few longer breaks throughout my day has really helped me to manage my and optimize my energy and my time more efficiently. Now, how do you determine if you're a sprinter or a marathoner? So, as I said, I did speak to someone just today who could be watching this video right now, so you know who you are. But we talked about how this person said, I can only work a specific like 70%. It feels like 70% of my energy. And then like I have to take a really long break. Like I can only work to this. And it was an epiphany for this person today. And I understand that completely because I had that epiphany as well. So you're not alone. So how you do this is you really kind of just have to reflect on your work habits and your energy levels and start paying attention. If you're that type of person, like you find you work best in short focused and short focused bursts, then you're most likely a sprinter. Or if you can maintain a steady pace over a longer duration, then you're probably a marathoner. So observing your energy highs and lows throughout your day is really going to be able to help you. So, like I said, using myself as an example, I'm a sprinter. I often need a break every 60 minutes, and I thrive on short, intense work sessions. As I previously mentioned, I also needed to incorporate a few longer breaks into my day in order to manage and optimize my energy and my time more efficiently. On the flip side, if you are a marathoner, you most likely will find that you can work longer periods of time before you need a break and maintain a steady work rhythm. It's not that you don't need to take breaks. I still encourage you to take those breaks. It's really important to give your brain a break, give your body a break, give yourself break away from everything. And I don't mean taking your phone after you've walked away from your computer, opening up your phone and start scrolling social media. That's not what I'm saying. It's not a screen. It's not one break from one screen to another. It's an actual break away from it all. So, and that really helps, like taking your brain from learning or consuming, because I think that's what happens where the fatigue comes in. So it's really crucial for you to know when your energy peaks and how to leverage those times. For example, if you have the most energy in the morning, you might schedule your most demanding tasks during that period. And then you would use low energy times for less intensive activities. I know for like myself, I am the type of person, I am a head down, all in, focused morning person. I can get right into a task. I really thrive that way. And then I know midday, lunchtime into mid afternoon, I'm going to do those lighter tasks, admin tasks, because it takes less brain um, charge, I guess, for lack of a better way to say it. And then later on in the day, I start picking back up. I get more creative, and I find like my creative side comes out, and I'm able to do other things. So it's really like understanding that, and I understand that about myself. High energy periods are perfect for tasks that require that deep focus, like I said, right, and creativity, like strategic planning or problem solving. Low energy times can be used for those admin tasks or routine check-ins. So let's talk about structuring your tasks based on your energy pattern. For sprinters, as an example, break down your day into multiple short work sessions with regular breaks, including scheduling in longer breaks for rest and recovery. Marathoners, you can block longer periods for work with fewer breaks, some which may be short 5 to 15 minutes, with a couple of longer breaks scheduled in for rest and recovery. Again, this is gonna be trial and error to figure out if you're a sprinter or a marathoner. But most of the time, you're going to learn pretty quickly which you are once you start paying attention to it. Now, breaks, I say this with a lot of love. Breaks are essential for maintaining your energy and focus. It really is important that you take those breaks throughout your day. Just because you feel like you're energized and you've got all the energy in the world to do things, do not do not ignore that self-care is a very important aspect to your well-being. Just because you have the energy and you think you can go for hours upon hours, if you have a continuous pattern of doing that, you will probably find yourself in a burnout phase. I've talked to multiple women, and including a very good friend of mine who told me we were having a conversation one day, and she was explaining to me some of the things that she was feeling, and she couldn't put her finger on what was going on. And I said, well, it sounds like you're in a burnout phase. And when we started discussing what she'd been doing for the past couple of weeks, that was her aha. Oh yeah, I actually realized this is what I've been doing and not really taking care of herself. So it's really, really, really important. Breaks are so essential. Even if you feel like you have all the energy, take those breaks, because you're going to then allow yourself to stay at your peak performance. So for sprinters, a 5 to 10 minute break every hour works well. And then again, having those longer breaks. Marathoners might take a 15 to 20 minute break every 2 hours. I realized, like I said, I had to incorporate few longer breaks into my day. In fact, I incorporated 3 additional 30-minute breaks in order to manage and optimize my energy and my time more efficiently. Again, the takeaway here is just to use these breaks to recharge, whether that's through some type of physical activity. I like to go for walks. I get away. I am really trying to be really good at not sitting at my desk and eating. I think it's best just to get away, changing location, relaxing, a mental pause, right? So that when you do get back at what you were working on or something new, you're refreshed, you're energized, and you're ready, you're focused to get ready again to do whatever it is that you're doing or what you're going to do next. So I really encourage you to create a work schedule that aligns with your energy levels. So if you're a sprinter, plan your most demanding tasks during those peak energy times and schedule those breaks accordingly. Again, it's going to be trial and error until you can figure out what your energy is like, but you probably will figure it out quickly, and you probably have clues already in your past that you can look back on that are going to be able to help you determine this. Marathoners can structure their day around longer work periods and fewer breaks. Again, it's going to take that trial and error to figure out which you are, the sprinter or the marathoner. But once you do, you're going to be able to work more efficiently. You'll optimize your time and your energy more efficiently. So I'm going to give you some techniques to help manage your energy and productivity. You've probably heard of the Pomodoro technique. This technique is really ideal for sprinters because it involves it has this process of working for 25 minutes and then taking a 5 minute break. And I believe that it's like 3 rounds of doing this, like working for 25 minutes, taking a 5 minute break, another 25, taking a 5 minute, another 25, taking a 5 minute. And then I believe the last 25 minutes, then you take a longer break. Again, I also encourage incorporating not just a 5 minute break, but again, those longer breaks to allow yourself to really fully recharge. Time blocking is another technique which is extremely useful. I know marathoners probably would love this technique because it involves like those scheduled blocks of time for specific tasks. And as I discussed earlier, excuse me, marathoners are built to go for longer work periods of time before needing a break. I believe that this can be really useful for the sprinter in that when we as sprinters have clarity around what we want to do each day, we can really structure our time accordingly with blocking out pockets of time for our tasks. But we just do it in sprints or spurts, I should say. The next one is strategic calendaring. I'm all about leaving some white space on the board, like on your calendar. I mean, just because you have free pockets of time doesn't mean you have to fill it with something, right? If you look at your calendar and maybe you're not as busy, for example, let's just say today, and you don't have a lot on your calendar, and then all of a sudden a lot of things start popping up. Just because those things pop up, do you really want to do them? Do you want to fill that time with that? or something that you would really like to do for yourself. Quality of life, after all, is really, really important. Those white spaces of time can be used for self care moments, for spending quality time with loved ones, taking care of yourself. So, I want to introduce a concept that I've discovered again. I shared about it a little bit in the beginning, based on my experience of late about understanding my energy management, and especially when it came to my emotional burnout that I was experiencing, because I didn't recognize it. And this had been going on for months. Um, my brother passed away back in September. So we're talking quite a few months, 7 months ago. And so I just started the build up, and I didn't recognize it. And so I started really like putting it together, putting the pieces together. And I realized that there was all of these stages that if I had been aware of them, I might have been able to say, oh, stop myself before I start going down that road. Because what happens with burnout, if you've ever experienced like the physicals of burnout or the actual burnout around when you're always in the doing, you'll find that once you hit that burnout, that crisis syndrome and burnout, that you are crisis burnout syndrome. When you get to that stage, you can't do anything. Like your body and your mind push back and say, no, like there's a huge stop sign in front of you. There's nothing you can do about it. And that is what I found, specifically what happened to me around my experience of recent around emotional burnout. Like this stop sign just immediately appeared right in front of my face and said, stop, you can't do it anymore. And couldn't put my finger on it right away until I started really taking time to reflect. And so I started realizing that there were these stages of burnout that I've come up, that I've realized, I should say, that have been a part of my journey, but I hadn't really paid attention. So the first stage of emotional burnout is that emotional overinvestment. So this is a stage where you're highly enthusiastic, emotionally engaged with that person because you really want to help them, right? You want to be there for other people. You're willing to give them their all. And I knew that I needed to be there for my mom. I knew that I needed to be there for my brother. I know I had my husband was going through some things. And I'm always been that person who will give of their time. I always want to be able to help other people. That's just in my nature. It always has been since I was a young girl. But what I've found is with this, in this stage one, you might overcommit emotionally to supporting others, where then you find you're neglecting your own needs. And signs may include feeling motivated to help, yet you're ignoring emotional fatigue. So you're always saying yes. And when someone needs you, like I need to talk, or I'm going through something, and you're always listening. And then you think you have to respond. And like you're taking it all on. Empaths, you probably get this because you take on other people's energy. That's what I do. I take on other people's energies, their emotions, their everything, their feelings, and I try to be able to be there to hold that space. But if I'm not holding emotional space for myself, that's when you start going deeper and deeper into this emotional burnout phases. So stage 2 is that emotional depletion. Is where that continuous emotional giving without self-care. When I say without self-care, I mean you're not putting in personal boundaries to take care of yourself, and not, you have to be able to step back. That can lead to depleted energy levels. And when you put yourself last on the totem pole, which, listen, moms, I know that you do this a lot, and you know that you do this. You put your kids first, you put your family first, you put your spouse first, you put everyone else first on the list. And sometimes you might be there on that list saying, oh, this is something I really want to do for myself today. But what happens? You know, you don't do it, right? It falls off the list. So I understand. I get it. I fully get it. But when you put yourself last on the totem pole and everyone else's needs could become above your own, some of those signs are going to start pushing back on you. You're going to start feeling drained. You're going to become irritable and snappy, maybe even overwhelmed. So now the third stage of emotional burnout is emotional exhaustion. So persistent emotional fatigue is leading to emotional exhaustion. You might withdraw from social situations, interactions, feel emotionally numb. You just don't have it in you to say yes to doing anything else. And rather than say no, because someone's asking you for something, rather than you saying no, you will hide. You will put yourself in a place where no one can, you won't respond to messages. You'll see them, but you won't respond, because then you won't have to say yes or no. You just see them and you ignore them. There's no personal boundaries around your time. You're giving of your time and you realize, oh boy, this is not good. So some of those signs can include detachment, like as I was saying, isolating yourself, emptiness, and increased sensitivity to emotional triggers. So you might become that person that you are, as soon as something happens, you are like that, emotionally triggered. That's it, and it could be the smallest thing, but you've had, as moms like to say, you've pushed my last nerve. I think that's what it is that they say. I know I've heard the saying somewhere. I don't know if I'm butchering it, but it's like you've triggered the last nerve. That's it. I'm done. And then the final stage 4, emotional breakdown. And again, I found myself here. This stage involves complete emotional burnout. The impacting your daily functioning. Signs might include severe emotional instability, frequent breakdowns, crying spells, a sense of hopelessness. Again, this is where I found myself, and feeling this way stopped me in my tracks, to the point that some of the things I wanted to do, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I had no energy. My body said, my mind said, no way. I almost felt like I was starting to have a breakdown. But luckily, I caught myself before it got too out of hand. But part of that was also because I have people in my life that, I no longer like hide, but I used to hide a lot. I used to hide a lot when I would be that person that would isolate myself, not let anyone know how I was feeling, and I would hide. But soon learned that asking for help is such a sign of strength. Allows other people to kind of hold you up, hold space for you, and support you. So I'm glad that I was able to catch it. However, that didn't mean that I was able to like go on business as usual. No, it's taken me a couple of weeks to actually start feeling like myself again. And still, I'm going through it. I'm still going through it and healing from it and learning from my experience. So I wanted to bring this to you today, because understanding these stages can help you recognize early signs of energy leaks that can lead to emotional burnout, and help you take proactive steps to manage your energy better. Also, when you combine what you're learning with understanding whether you're a sprinter or a marathoner, that can significantly improve your productivity and well-being as well, because you're understanding like, oh, this is my energy, this is how I am. Oh, I'm actually giving too much focus on someone else's feelings, like too much. It's becoming too much. Like as I said, now my mom says a lot of things. I know she's lonely. She's going through a lot right now. She lost 2 of her sons, the eldest and the youngest, within a year of each other. And I understand that. I get it. But I can't take on all that emotional responsibility, because I'm just one person, and this the reason, like as I said, the reason why I wanted to introduce my concept to my take about emotional burnout is because I really wanted to be transparent about what's going on in my life. Yes, I'm a self-care strategist and I'm really good at what I do. I really am. I know that. But I also know that I'm human. And I just wanted to be able to share with you about my experience around emotional burnout. Because I don't know about you, but I resonate with people who are transparent, and that show the other sides to themselves. I am all about showing the successes and their wins, because I absolutely 100% want to cheer them on. I want to support them. But I also love it when someone can be open and vulnerable and human, because after all, that is who we are first and foremost. We're human, and those are the types of people that I resonate with and gravitate towards. So that's why the share today. And there will be more like this, because I truly feel it's important that we start looking at the things that are actually affecting us, because being in business, whether, and even if you're in corporate America, you're still going through these things too, right? Because we're humans and we go through these things. And it's really important that we start recognizing, okay, we have energy levels that, I might be, my friend is like a sprinter, or my friend is a marathoner. What am I? Like, trying to figure that out. And when I realized that, it was like, oh, wow, like this is so incredible to understand, because it made me feel so much better to realize that, oh, this is the type of person that I am. And now I can start really structuring my time more effectively around my energy management, my time management. So before we wrap up, I want to quickly recap what I talked about today around, mastering your energy. So we explored the concept of sprinters and marathoners, and how understanding your energy patterns can really help you to optimize your productivity. We talked about identifying how to identify whether you're a sprinter or a marathoner, and how when you know that, it helps you to align your tasks to with your natural energy flow. Like, when you know who you are and how you operate, it's so much easier to like, oh, this is who I am, this is how I operate, this is how I can structure my day, because there's so much freedom in how you structure your calendar in your day. We talked about harnessing the power of your energy peaks, can that and that how that can significantly boost your efficiency. Again, it is you harnessing your power of understanding of which of these two you are, sprinter or marathoner. We also covered how structuring and calendaring of your tasks based on your energy levels can really prevent emotional burnout and improve your overall well-being. And I also introduced my concept around the 4 stages of emotional burnout to help you recognize early signs and take proactive steps, especially when it comes to relationships. Because face it, we're in relationships of some sort, whether it's romantic, whether it's our families, whether it's our friends. We're in relationships, and sometimes those relationships can be draining, and we have to really learn to be able to step it back a bit and put up some of those boundaries around the time that we spend, and what we're going to allow ourselves to take on. Because, as I said, for the past 7 months, I've been taking on everybody else's emotions and feelings and energy, and trying to pour into everyone and being there for them. And I realized that I was actually depleted. Like, that's when the huge stop sign, like, literally, if a stop sign could appear out of nowhere, that's what happened, because I literally was stopped in my tracks. So today I want to encourage you to take some time to really reflect on it. Like, take some time this week to identify what your energy patterns are. Are you a sprinter or are you a marathoner? Start implementing the changes that align with your natural rhythms. Um, so here's some practical steps really for you to get started. Track your energy levels throughout your day to understand when you're most productive, when you have the least energy, when you are most creative. Adjust your schedule to align high energy tasks with your peak times, and reserve low energy periods for less demanding activities. Incorporate regular breaks into your routine, tailored to whether you're a sprinter or a marathoner. Consider using techniques like the Pomodoro technique, time blocking, strategic calendaring to manage your time and your energy more effectively, and leave some white space on your calendar. You do not have to fill every block of time to actually be fulfilled, and to show that you're actually doing something. Sometimes we do that because we feel like we have to fill our calendar to look like we're actually doing something, and all we're doing is busy work. That really doesn't help us, and it just depletes our energy, and it takes away a lot of our time, our free time that we could be spending with other people, or doing fun things, or taking care of ourselves. So, as you digest what you've learned today, here are some questions I want you to think about. How do you feel during different times of the day? When are you most productive? And have you actually ever taken a pause to determine how best you work when you're at your best energetic level? Like, a lot of the time we just go to work, but have you actually ever thought about it? Like, how am I? Like, am I really? I'm giving you this question. Am I a sprinter or am I a marathoner? Am I a person who can do short short bursts of energy, to really do a lot with a small amount of time and taking more breaks? Or am I someone who can actually work a little bit longer period of times and take less breaks, but still taking those breaks for overall well-being? But I actually can do it a little bit longer. So these are some things I want you to think about as you reflect on the rest of this week on your energy. And maybe this really hit a nerve for you, because I know for me, it was a wake up call. I needed to really make some changes. And it's still happening, it's still ongoing, but I know that with time, I'll get back to my regular rhythm. I now am more aware of the emotional patterns that got me to where I'm at, where I actually had to take that time and to really reflect, and where I really couldn't do anything emotionally. I couldn't really do anything. I couldn't show up, and I was just doing the bare minimum. So it's really important. I really hope that you take this to heart today, and that you take time to really, just reflect where you're at. So thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope you found this insightful, that it helps you on your journey to better energy management and productivity. Be sure to join me for the next live session. We'll continue exploring ways to enhance your personal and your professional life. So keep an eye out for upcoming content designed to support your growth and your well-being. Remember, understanding and optimizing your energy patterns is key to maintaining productivity and a healthy harmony both personally and professionally. So keep exploring, stay curious, and take charge of your energy so that you can live a more fulfilled and effective lifestyle, and that your leadership journey, whatever that looks like, is filled in a way where you're using your energy, you're optimizing your energy, you're using your time efficiently, and you're having more joy in doing it. So thanks so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you coming in. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.